the things I learned about David Lee Roth from Van Halen back in the day, now solo artist. Barbara and I, my wife and I, saw him at the House of Blues in Boston recently, and he put on an amazing show. I applaud him. I commend him, congratulate him. Yeah, standing ovation, Dave, but we were standing the whole 2 hours that you performed. It was a standing ovation from beginning to end for you, Dave. But what I feel marketers can learn from David Lee Roth is, number one, branding. I mean, you know who I'm talking about. Those of you who do know, I mean, if you're young, you might not know David Lee Roth. If you never were into rock and roll music and yeah, just didn't pay attention during the late 70s, 80s, 90s, up until now, you might not know David Lee Roth. But if you know David Lee Roth, you know what I'm talking about when I say he is his own brand that is unmistakable him. And you know what I'm talking about when I talk about him. Flamboyant, talented, a little bit wild, a little bit reckless, loud, great singer, great talker, great comedian, frankly, great dancer. I mean, he does it all. He enthralls, he engages with his audience, he entertains, he's exciting, he's exhilarating, he is electrifying. I could go on. He has that brand and he dresses the part, acts the part. And you know what I'm talking about when I talk about David Lee Roth. That's branding. That's how your product or service, not necessarily exactly like David Lee Roth. You might have a different vibe, if you will, a different feel. Obviously, your products, your services, and you, of course, on me. None of us can be David Lee Roth. There's only one David Lee Roth. But what I'm saying is your products and services and you as a personal brand have other attributes, but you want your attributes to be known. It'd be ideal if they were known as well as David Lee Roth's attributes are, when you just say his name, when you just say your name, when you just say your products or services name, to be known as well as David Lee Roth. That's great branding. That's strong branding. Wow. So that's one. I said marketing, what we're learning from him, but there's also business points I want to get across and points with regard to succeeding in life. So this is marketing, but it dovetails along with everything else we do in our lives, and that is consistency and showing up. And David Lee Roth, at his age, 71, still be on the stage, to still be touring at his level of intensity, that's impressive. And if you're a personal brand, and we all are personal brands, whether we want to admit it or take advantage of it or not, that's up to us. But we are all personal brands. David Lee Roth certainly is one. Yeah, his product, I guess, it's more a service, the playing of music. The product, I guess, when it's commoditized and we purchase it, consume it, it's can be, I guess it's on Spotify now, but it used to be records and tapes and tickets to shows. So regardless, I'm saying being consistent, showing up, longevity, that's what you want. So started off with branding, now saying built to last is David Lee Roth. And we all should be so lucky to be at that level of success at his age and have, if we're looking at this from a marketing standpoint, have products and services that last that long in popularity. So branding, consistency, showing up, the content. And that's what I was just saying a little bit in terms of products and services. His content is his hits, is his songs. He has the portfolio, the dossier that we all like, most of us who like rock and roll, who appreciate rock and roll. So many hits, so much popularity, so much revenue based on those hits and the royalties he's, I'm sure, taken in as a result of those hit songs. But that's his body of work. And we all, as personal brands, need and want a body of work like that if we want to succeed at the highest level possible for a long, long time. You need great content. He has great content, and that music gets played on Spotify. That music gets played on radio stations, or at least has many, many years, still does on certain radio stations. I imagine Sirius XM, classic rock, or replay. I'm trying to think of that other station I listen to that plays some great rock hits from back in the day. So content. And then as a personal brand, he doesn't take himself too seriously. That's putting it mildly. I mean, he's like a comedian, an entertainer, a showman, like a Las Vegas lounge act. And I have always said personal brands should not take themselves too seriously, even corporate brands. You know, if you're just like, if people can look at you and think, hey, they're just like me. He's just like me. She's just like me. That company's just like me. You know, the people behind the scenes, the employees, they're just like me. I can relate. That's a good thing. They'll trust and respect. And if they like what you have to offer them, they're going to be all over it. They're going to be consuming it, buying it, wanting it, demanding it, etc. You know, David Lee Roth in concert and in any appearance that you, I mean, look him up if you don't know. He comes off like just a regular guy, and so that means you can relate to him. And he doesn't take himself too seriously. In fact, he's joking and laughing frequently, and that makes him appealing to others. That endears him to others. He engages with his fans. He makes eye contact constantly. He's gesturing. He's pointing. He's talking to them in between songs. Lots of banter. Lots of small talk. Lots of levity and frivolity. And so again, people skills. So as a personal brand, you know, think what I've said already. Branding, strong brand. Again, this applies to products and services, though, as well. The consistency, the content, and the body of work, and not taking himself too seriously, and then engaging with his audience, engaging with fans. I saw on YouTube recently, he took someone from the audience. They came up and danced with them on stage. I mean, how cool is that? You know what I'm saying? That's allowing people to connect with you and you connecting with them. And as a brand or business, what can we learn from that? As a personal brand, what can we learn from that? Don't ignore our audience. Don't be tone deaf to what they want, what they appreciate, what they like about you. And most of that has to do with the connection you make to them and the availability and approachability and be on their level. Don't think you're in any other stratosphere but theirs. We are all on the same level. Okay, rock star or not. And we are all rock stars. Sorry, Dave, you are the quintessential rock star, but I tell everybody, you are a rock star. We should feel like David Lee Roth. And he's a good role model, I'm telling you. He works hard. There's another thing. His work ethic. I always tell my students, nothing replaces that work ethic. His energy is off the charts at age 71. That's something to be proud of, Dave. And his work ethic, same. So, you know, even though he's so talented and could probably just show up and stand there, he works hard. It shows and it's appreciated. And so again, in business, one of the keys to success, working hard, same marketing, same social media, same, you know, just living, period. You got to work hard and high energy helps. He tours frequently. At least he is right now and has certainly in his past, certainly when he was a member of Van Halen. And that point there in marketing is you want to be where your audience is. Artists, rock bands, performers, perfect example of being where your audience is, obviously. And if we can, as personal brands, and that's why I preach social media so often, because you can't do this in person necessarily, most of us, us average folk, you can't be there in real life alongside your audience in person, but you can online. Take advantage of social media. Take heed of what I'm saying is a good example of being where your audience is, and that's David Lee Roth touring, going from city to city, Schenectady to Hampton Beach, New Hampshire, Schenectady, New York, to Boston, Mass, all over the place, Huntington, New York, the Stone Pony and New Jersey. These are clubs where he's appearing right now on tour. He's going to where his audience is and then connecting with them. In marketing, that's what we have to do as a personal brand. Use social media to be where your audience is. He is lifting people up, and your personal brand is, to a degree, a reflection of how much you lift others up, not just how visible you are and how talented and helpful and educational, et cetera, you are, but how much you lift them up, others, those on the receiving end of your messages. Prop them up. Give them the limelight. Like David Lee Roth did recently, let someone dance on stage with you. Point to them, smile at them, treat them with respect. Your audience, lift others up, inspire them, entertain them, make them smile. I think you get that. And almost done with my 10, and these are 10, unless I miscounted. Personality. He's got it, obviously, larger than life. He smiles. Again, he doesn't take himself too seriously. He laughs. He tells stories, storytelling. He has it all going on. He's the face on the brand in the face of his band. And that's what you want as a brand or a business, certainly as a personal brand. You know, that personality, smile, be the face of your brand. And finally, believe in yourself. Strong personal brand, you have to believe in yourself. Feel like a rock star. That's why I call my students rock stars. That's why I call anyone listening and watching this show right now. You are a rock star. You have to believe in yourself. So that's 10 or so things I think we can learn from David Lee Roth of Van Halen fame, but solo fame as well, and who my wife and I just saw at the House of Blues in Boston. David Lee Roth on stage, in concert, singing all the hits. We danced the night away. That's one of his hit songs, Dance the Night Away. And we enjoyed ourselves immensely. And I think so highly of David Lee Roth, and I praise him and I applaud him. And I turn, having seen him in concert, into 10 lessons that we all can learn, those of us in business, especially in marketing, from David Lee Roth, starting with his personal branding, his consistency, always showing up, his content, his hit singles, his hit songs, his hit albums. That's his body of work. That's his portfolio. That's his dossier. Doesn't take himself too seriously. Great for personal brands to be mindful of that. He engages with his fans, corporate brands and personal brands. We know how important that is. He works hard no matter what we do in life. Strong work ethic will help us achieve success. He's got that high energy. Energy helps. He's born with that. I think am like-minded, a kindred spirit, Dave, and have that high energy as well. I know it's an asset. But it's me, whether it's an asset or not. That's what you're going to get when you are around me, and that's what we're going to get from David Lee Roth when we're around him. He goes to where his audience is in all the touring, all the performing. Okay, he has to get out there in real life, and we all should take note of that. Stores do pop-up appearances in different markets, travel people in business, as I have done countless times in the past, business travel. You got to go where your clients are, where your customers are. Selling products and services, you got to sell those products and services, again, where your customers are. And that may change. That may change repeatedly. Again, like an artist on tour, like David Lee Roth on stage. We as personal brands, we as companies have to be where our audience is. And we want to lift our audience up like David Lee Roth entertains and inspires and takes us down memory lane. For those of you who are old like me and listened to Van Halen back in the day, we want to lift our audience up. We want to make them smile and joke and laugh a little bit and have a great personality and be the face on the brand, and in his case, the face of the band. We need to think similarly, and we need to, like David Lee Roth is a rock star, we need to believe that we are rock stars. Each and every one of us is a rock star. We have to feel like David Lee Roth on stage. I hope he feels like this, because he is this. He is a rock star, the consummate, the definitive rock star. Are you David Lee Roth? And that's how I think we all should feel if we're fortunate enough to feel that way and instill that feeling in ourselves. We need to feel like David Lee Roth, who is a rock star. We need to feel like David Lee Roth and feel like we are rock stars as well. So there's my episode